Right now, there's nobody in the kickboxing world who fights with their legs quite like she does. Fans have already slapped a perfect nickname on her, the real-life Chun-Li. Meet the undefeated rising star of combat sports, Mona Kimura. Born on the 12th of April, 2001, in Mie Prefecture, Japan, she stepped onto the dojo mats to start learning karate when she was just 4 years old. And by the time she hit high school, she'd completely taken over the National Youth Karate Championships, racking up 7 titles in a row. 7. That's not talent, that's a different level. In 4th grade, she picked up boxing too. And honestly, that's where things get scary. By the age of 18, she'd already grabbed the Japanese National Women's Boxing Championship. And she went on to represent Japan at the 2022 IBA Women's World Boxing Championships. Now here's where I really started paying attention. In 2024, riding all that boxing pedigree, Kimura made a call that caught a lot of people off guard. She jumped over to kickboxing and signed with the Crush promotion. And from that moment on, a legendary run of pure domination kicked off. Her leg game? It's a genuine feast for the eyes, something fight fans just haven't seen before. And here's the backstory that makes it click for me. When she was a kid, her parents had her do these long single-leg standing drills, over and over. That insane sense of balance she built? It's now the entire foundation of how she fights. Her kicks snap out as crisp and sharp as a jab, and she uses them to dictate distance and keep everybody at arm's length. But the second an opponent tries to close that gap, well, those championship-level hands are just as deadly. That's the trap. There's no safe place to be. Let's rewind to how it all started. On the 16th of November 2024, Kimura made her promotional debut at Crush 167 in Tokyo against Ogiwara. She played it pretty relaxed early on, in no rush to start throwing those legs. But when she finally uncorked her first roundhouse, Ogiwara caught it and immediately swept her, slamming her flat onto the canvas. And you'd think that'd rattle a debut fighter, right? Nope. Kimura popped right back up like nothing happened, shoved Ogiwara off, and instantly snatched control of the fight back. Then, boom, a clean, straight left landed flush on the chin and dropped her. Ogiwara gutted it out and got back to her feet, but it didn't matter. Moments later, less than 2 minutes into round 1, Kimura closed the show with a brutal overhand right for the knockout. First round of her pro career, and the reign of terror was already underway. In January 2025, she was back in the Crush ring for fight number 2 against Yuka. And right from the opening bell, she went to work, slicing body kicks, high kicks, sharp boxing combos, keeping Yuka pinned way out at the very edge of her range where she couldn't do a thing. Every time Yuka tried to bull her way inside, Kimura would just flip into boxing mode and pour on the heavy stuff. Yuka did land a few hard shots upstairs, and I'll give her credit for that, but Kimura ate them without so much as a blink and immediately turned it right back around. One nasty middle kick later, Yuka folded to the mat in pain, and Kimura showed zero mercy, just kept piling it on. Yuka went for a do-or-die push in the final round, but all she got for her trouble was thicker flurries of kicks and even sharper counters. In the end, Kimura took a dominant unanimous decision and pushed her record to 2-0. The whole division was starting to feel it. Fight 3 is where I figured we'd finally see a real test, because she was up against a veteran, Satoko Ozawa, a year older and seasoned. But from the very first second, Kimura was raining down punches and kicks from these weird, unorthodox angles that left Ozawa with no answer at all. By the end of round 1, Ozawa was already busted open. Round 2, Kimura somehow got even meaner, tearing through the defense until that cut split wide open. The ref actually had to stop the action to wipe her face down, but the bleeding just would not quit. Eventually, the ringside doctor stepped in and waved it off in the second, giving Kimura the TKO. 3 fights, 3 finishes, and just like that, she kicked the door wide open to the top-tier promotions. Then came the big one. On the 11th of April, 2026, Kimura made her much-hyped debut at K1 in Tokyo against the Korean champ Eunji Choi, and this was easily her toughest test yet. Choi's a savvy veteran with real tactical discipline. And she'd done her homework, studying Kimura's style inside and out. And you know what Kimura did with all that game planning? She threw the whole playbook out the window. She kept switching gears, bouncing in and out of range, firing off strikes from blind spots Choi never saw coming. No matter how hard Choi tried to drag things into her own rhythm, Kimura just shut it down every single time. By the third round, you could see it, pure despair written all over Choi's face. She threw everything she had at closing the distance and kept smashing straight into that blistering web of punches and kicks. 3 full rounds later, Kimura cruised to a dominant, unanimous decision and won her K1 debut. She's been absolutely thriving in K1 ever since, still undefeated, and the wild part is she's getting better every time out. If she keeps evolving at this frankly terrifying pace, I don't think there's much doubt about it. It's only a matter of time before she's wrapping a world title belt around her waist. And honestly, I can't wait to watch it happen.